I never could have thought that the Diddy situation could get any worse, but it just did. And are these new allegations connected to Diddy's public escapades with the likes of Justin Bieber and Usher while they were still minors?
I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it.
I thought, okay, the Cassie, they're saying they're going to drop names of other celebrities.
The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already.
I thought there's no way this gets any worse. He's facing life in prison. It's not looking good. Is he going to start saying names? He was on self-deletion watch. They denied his bond. But right when I thought the situation couldn't get any worse, it got worse. But before we get into that, guys, my name is Ruslan. This channel exists to encourage, empower, and inspire you to live a life that blesses God, ultimately living a better story. Sometimes that requires us exposing the darkness of the false narratives and the false stories. Sometimes that requires us leaning into hard conversations about what's happening in culture. So if you're new here or if you're not new here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. There's a huge percentage of people that watch this channel, unfortunately, are not subscribed. Now, let's jump into this video. This is a different level of just complete debauchery, right? There's levels to this stuff. And I don't mean to say that like sin isn't sin in God's eyes, but sin has different consequences, and how you sin against different types of people has different consequences, okay? And so something that starts out as a potentially manipulative relationship and then turns into trafficking is a little different than what we're going to discuss today, okay? What we're going to discuss today is alleged. It's all alleged. It's all alleged.
It's all alleged.
All alleged.
It's not even real.
It's not even real. But this is crazy stuff, okay? So shout out to Breaking Points, my news source for a lot of stuff. I like them. I like him, except Crystal's takes on anything Israel related. He's just a complete bot. But other than that, I like Breaking Points. Okay, yeah. So jump into this. Go ahead.
Update on the latest allegations surrounding Diddy. We have a new flood of lawsuits that raise additional allegations against him. We can put this up on the screen from who else? TMZ. They say Diddy was slapped with a flood of new lawsuits, cites other celebrities involved. That's probably the most noteworthy and also potentially salacious part of this. Let me read a little bit of this article from TMZ. They say Diddy's been hit with a flood of new lawsuits, including one brought by a girl who referenced unnamed celebrities and was just 13 years old.
Pause it.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
That escalated very quickly.
Yeah.
So we go from trafficking sex workers, right?
Mm-hmm.
What he did to Cassie.
Yeah.
Now 13-year-old.
And I'll say this. If you remember, there's him with JB when JB is like 13, 14, 15 maybe.
Darkness.
And they said everything you could imagine for a 14-year-old's dream, boy's dream.
Where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
Other celebrities involved, 13-year-olds. Kind of it wouldn't be unrealistic to imagine he's curating an environment that in a really creepy way for these young boys that he's bringing around to like have a great time. Oh,
that's gross.
I mean, because he admitted it on camera. He's already hanging out with these kids.
Yeah.
Ugh.
When she says the music mogul drugged and raped her at a house party, I'll go ahead and say Diddy's lawyers deny all of these allegations. In total, he is now facing 5 additional federal suits. All of them were filed by this one Texas attorney on behalf of his clients. They all claim that Diddy assaulted them in separate attacks between 2000 and 2022. An additional 2 lawsuits were filed Sunday night in state court in New York. So a total of 7 lawsuits from a number of accusers. As TMZ details, they say perhaps the most disturbing allegations were levied by this woman who was 13 at the time when she was dropped off by a friend at Radio City Music Hall in New York City to attend MTV's Video Music Awards. She says that she sort of waited outside. You know, she wanted to get a look at Diddy. She wanted to be able to go to the party and, you know, have her moment of celebrity interaction, encounter. But what she alleges happens is she got picked up by a driver who said, effectively, yeah, I think you're his type, gets into the party, is immediately with some sort of, cocktail.
I feel like everyone who saw this, was around this, and let this happen is complicit in this.
Yeah.
Listen, I understand.
The driver said that? Ooh.
I understand that there are some teenage girls that develop faster than others. Like, I understand that that's a possibility. But 13 is still 13. You knew daggone well she was below the age of consent. You knew, everyone around knew that. There's no 13-year-old that looks like she's 19.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. especially that.
You knew. They knew. They knew. You look awfully young, darling.
Or speak like they're 19.
Right.
Speak like they're 21.
Right.
That's not happening.
Oof.
That's dark.
Has to lie down because she's so dizzy. And then she says that Diddy eventually entered that bedroom where she was lying down after likely being drugged with 2 other celebrities, a male and a female, both of whom are unnamed in the suit. The accuser says the male celebrity ripped off her clothes and raped her while the female celebrity watched. Diddy also allegedly violently assaulted her while the celebrities watched. She said she was able to escape the bedroom, stagger out of the house to a gas station nearby where she received some help. And as I said before, the legal team on Diddy's side says in court the truth will prevail. Mr. Combs has never assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman.
Where is your parents?
Where's your parents? That's a great question. That's a great question.
What in the world? I mean, I know some parents give their kids an iPad, but a Diddy party?
My daughter's not even gonna have an iPhone when she's 13.
Oh, my kids are gonna be on that Nick D program.
Shout out to the homie Nick D.
I'll throw him on a farm.
This man on the farm just checked out from
dumb phone.
I love it. Yeah, seriously. I'll get you a dumb
these,
phone. I'm not getting you a smartphone, darling.
Yeah, exactly.
Allegations come on the heels of federal criminal charges filed against Diddy for things like sex trafficking. We've seen that horrific video of him assaulting R&B singer Cassie in a hotel hallway and then dragging her back into a hotel room. She really is the person who kicked off all of this investigation and really opened the floodgates vis-a-vis Diddy. And, you know, this new allegations involving 2 other celebrities really does raise the question of who else was involved, who else knew, and who else, you know, should also be
That's
having
what I'm
their
saying.
day.
Someone else knew about this stuff.
A lot of people knew about this.
A lot of people knew about this stuff. A lot of people were complicit in this. Now, the Texas attorney said they're going to start naming names.
The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already. And of course, I already know who some of these individuals are.
But they have an independent investigator going and verifying these
This
things.
is going to be the end of mainstream media. If they just start ripping down all these A-listers, and we're like, guess we're left with YouTube.
Good riddance.
Guess we're left with YouTube.
Yeah, good riddance.
We got to start making some movies.
You know?
We'll get a little Chosen deal.
This is heavy, man. Go ahead.
In court facing similar criminal charges as Diddy himself.
Yeah, I mean, for example, it's very like the Weinstein case where it was an open secret. So, for example, 50 Cent was asked about this in a new interview. Let's put this on the screen. And he said that he's like, look, it seems like I've been doing I've been saying some extremely outrageous things, but I haven't. It's just me saying what I've been saying for 10 years. Now it's becoming more full-facing in the news about the puppy stuff, but away from that, I'm like, it's just my perspective because I stayed away from that stuff the entire time. That is not my style. And
Pause it. Hey, one time 50 Cent.
What? 50 Cent kind of comes off as like a man of God behind the scenes.
He's been consistent on this.
He's just like funny. He's happy. He's always avoiding the dark circles. The last thing he needs is Jesus.
He needs Jesus because that show Power is pretty dark.
He's in a show. That's
no,
really
he created a whole universe called Power. I watched the very first one.
It's so bad.
It was bad. I couldn't.
Okay.
It's really bad.
I had a very.
It's very well done. Like the acting, the pacing, the shooting. It's very, very well done.
Not bad from an artistic standpoint.
Not bad from an artistic standpoint. Bad from an explicit standpoint. That like, oof, you know, I wish I hadn't seen Power. But now they have a whole universe around Power, which I haven't watched any of.
That was my bad take from a very arm's length. From
Well,
what I know
no,
about Diddy.
but I do think there's something to being willing to call out evil, consistently call out evil, and not in a prophetic, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? But in like a throwing little
he's like throwing shade.
He's throwing shade,
like,
jokes. He's just like diffusing it. But all along, he's been saying this stuff for years.
Yeah.
You know? So props to 50 on this.
Yeah.
I do believe that I don't remember who, but there has been people that have shared the gospel with him behind the scenes, and there's been some different conversations that have happened over the years with different folks in him, you know?
My second cigar is with 50 Cent while we talk about Jesus.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think what he's trying to get at here is obviously he's been in the news because he was one of the people who would very often bring this up in public. One of the few actually in the industry that would openly talk about it. It's in the same way that I remember looking at videos like from the Oscars from like 2013. I think it was Seth MacFarlane who made a joke about women having to be with Harvey Weinstein. Everybody looks kind of uncomfortable, but there was a light laugh in the room. But it's like they're joking about it at the Oscars like a decade before the whole Me Too situation. So how does that work? You know, and same here. It was enough of an open secret to be able to be talked about basically everywhere for rumors, for somebody very powerful like 50 Cent to be able to speak about it. And then the actual lawsuits.
Yes.
I mean, eventually, if you even look at the lead up to this whole thing, it's crazy that it took that initial lawsuit to even lead to that HSI investigation. And now,
so this is what I will say. Not that I was like super deep in the industry, but I, did some music stuff and did some stuff with Universal and Interscope and yada yada yada. It was known that Puff was crazy and a gangster. That's how they describe it. What has been told to me is, you ever seen Frank Lucas, American Gangster, the movie by Denzel? That's who Puff is in real life. That's what it's always been told to me. Oh. I didn't know, but I never heard any of this stuff. I never heard about any of this Thursday, and I've never been to a Diddy party. But that was the conversation was like, this dude is a thug. Like Diddy is a thug.
Wow.
So
that's I mean, he's beyond that.
But I've also said that one of the most interesting things about this entire Diddy saga is that in the midst of all this debaucherous behavior, this dude kept going to church. He kept publicly being in church environments. Obviously, we've all seen photos of him and TD Jakes and TD Jakes showing up to his birthday party or whatever that was. But the idea that he's been claiming God and allegiance to God and even claiming whatever form of Christianity is very alarming, is very troubling. But it makes me think of this verse. This is from 1 Timothy chapter 4. It says, the Spirit clearly says that in the latter days, some will abandon the faith and follow deceiving spirits and things taught by demons. Okay, so this is people abandoning the faith and follow things that are taught by demons. And check this out. This is really interesting. It says that such teachings come through who? Hypocritical liars. Someone going to church and doing all this stuff sounds like a pretty big hypocritical liar to me, whose consciences have been seared as with a hot iron. So the scriptures do describe that some people can be affiliated with the faith, yet they're actually hypocritical liars. And in that, their conscience has been seared like a hot iron. Whew, this is some really heavy imagery. And I think we need to be on alert in terms of the types of things that are being preached in certain Christian circles. Like if something is being said that is clearly a sin and it's being minimized. If someone is trying to confess certain things they're dealing with and it's saying, it's okay, we all have sin. No, there's a specific type of conduct that if you're going to step in and wave the banner of Jesus in your life, we are to behave, not as a means to be saved, but as a means to reflect the saving that has happened in our hearts by the blood of Jesus. So anyway, I want to know what you guys think about this entire situation. I think all this honestly goes back to a crucial issue, which is a lack of understanding God's purpose and our purpose. And we created a whole playlist on the brainwashing that has been happening from society as a whole. We'll have this pinned up for you guys over here. All right, I'll see you later. Peace.